Okay, South Park is taking no prisoners in its new season, and despite backlash from Trump administration officials, they are unfazed.
The hard thing about South Park is, like, you go at them and they go back at you twice as hard.
South Park has gone off again on Kristi Noem, dropping another ruthless bonus clip. It feels like no matter how hard she tries, Noem just can't escape the crosshairs of the show's brutal satire. With every new clip, South Park is trapping her in a cycle of chaos she can't control.
And the second is Noem's face melting and having to be reattached by her employees.
Wow.
South Park has never been afraid of crossing lines. But this time, they didn't just cross them, they bulldozed through them with dynamite. Season 27 dropped an episode titled Gotta Nut that didn't merely roast Kristi Noem, it executed her reputation in front of millions. What started as satire turned into full-blown cultural demolition, and the aftershocks are still rattling politics, media, and even the boardrooms of Paramount.
South Park is something that has been fun and making fun of people for, I don't know how many years, 20 years.
The infamous Gotta Nut episode aired on August 6, 2025, and immediately carved its place in South Park history. Noem was drawn as a gun-obsessed DHS boss, storming homes with ICE agents while her face literally melted from too much Botox. But the savage centerpiece was something darker. South Park resurrected her dog shooting scandal from the 1990s, a story many thought was buried for good.
Welcome to the team, recruits. I'm Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security.
Oh, she seems nice. Okay, very pretty.
A few years ago, I had to put my puppy down by shooting it in the face, because sometimes doing what's important means doing what's hard.
Instead of glossing over it, the show pushed it to the front. Animated Noem walked into a pet store, smirked, and coldly declared, "Doing what's important sometimes means shooting your dog in the face." It was a line so merciless that it blurred the line between parody and assassination. The audience was stunned, but hooked.
South Park is, in Ellison's words, highly profitable and a huge hit on streaming.
And the numbers proved it. In just 3 days, the episode pulled 6.2 million viewers, an achievement networks haven't seen in years. Even more shocking, it captured a 15.61% share among adults 18 to 49, the kind of demo dominance most shows only dream of. That was a 54% jump from the season premiere. South Park wasn't just airing an episode, it was detonating a cultural bomb.
But I'm actually was a little surprised that was her reaction, because she's tough. I mean, she's taken criticism forever, and I don't actually look at it as a woman issue. I just look at it as they're just making fun of everybody. I mean,
it's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. Only the liberals and the extremists do that. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that, but clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
Noem didn't sit quietly. She lashed out publicly, calling the show lazy and petty, claiming they mocked her appearance instead of her professional record. The irony? She admitted she hadn't even watched the episode. Instead of ignoring the storm, she poured gasoline on it, demanding that the world see her as a victim of liberal mockery.
DHS hag Kristi Noem, who is terrorizing immigrant communities, is a little upset that South Park had the gall to make fun of her appearance.
They whacked the woke, they're now having a crack. And anyone who, of course, has seen the Book of Mormon would know that's their kind of humor.
But South Park thrives on outrage. Within hours of her statements, the show doubled down by making Noem's distorted face their official profile picture. What she called humiliation, South Park weaponized as free advertising. Her attempts to control the narrative collapsed instantly. Because in meme warfare, the more you complain, the faster you sink.
They actually released this bonus clip on Twitter last night, poking fun at DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's.
If the episode wasn't brutal enough, Paramount Plus dropped a bonus scene on August 11th, 2025. And this one wasn't even broadcast on Comedy Central. In it, Noem casually strolls into a pet store and starts blasting dogs without hesitation or explanation. No satire, no build-up, just pure shock value.
Noem was in on the joke. She and ICE used the show as a recruitment push on social media, but it was fun until it wasn't.
The internet erupted. Twitter flooded with debates. Had South Park finally gone too far? Was this edgy satire or character destruction disguised as comedy? The outrage only fueled its spread. Within hours, clips racked up millions of views. News outlets covered it as if it were a breaking scandal. And Kristi Noem's name was trending worldwide for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, it seems like it already has, right? It's been incredibly high ratings.
If the end of the republic cannot move these media companies, perhaps profit motive can.
Yeah, the bottom dollar, as it were.
But here's the kicker. This wasn't an accident. Trey Parker and Matt Stone know exactly what they're doing. The bonus clip was a deliberate escalation, a statement that South Park doesn't run from backlash. It feeds on it.
It's clear where they land.
It's good.
Really good.
Keep them on their toes, you know?
I'm so happy this is back.
At this point, it became clear. South Park isn't just a cartoon. It's a cultural weapon. In 2025, the show has evolved into something far more powerful than late-night satire or political commentary. While Colbert, Fallon, and Kimmel have grown predictable, South Park has become a chaos machine. Equal opportunity offenders who torch the powerful, left or right, and dare audiences to look away.
So let's get out there and get them, recruits. Together we...
The Kristi Noem takedown was the perfect example. By dragging her old scandal out of the shadows and exaggerating it into grotesque animation, South Park didn't just ridicule her, it stripped her power. It turned her name into meme fuel. And in today's media landscape, once you become a meme, you lose control of your image forever.
Vice President J.D. Vance took a slightly different approach. Instead of being the butt of the joke, sharing his South Park moment, saying, "I finally made it."
The same episode also roasted Vice President J.D. Vance. But his reaction revealed the difference between political survival and political implosion. Instead of raging, Vance leaned into the joke. He posted a simple one-liner online: "I finally made it." That single move flipped the narrative. Suddenly, he looked confident, self-aware, and in on the joke. A stark contrast to Noem's defensive meltdown. Overnight, Vance's name was everywhere. Not just in political coverage, but across meme pages with millions of followers. The contrast couldn't have been sharper. Noem looked thin-skinned, fragile, and out of touch. Vance looked cool, relevant, and, ironically, more powerful because of the roast.
Obviously, one Trump applauded and has now said that was so great, get rid of all these other late-night hosts on other networks. They eliminated the DEI programs.
Inside Trump's orbit, the split was immediate. Some allies cried foul, screaming about bias and sexism. Others laughed alongside Vance, treating the roast as a twisted badge of honor. South Park hadn't just mocked politicians, it had ignited a civil war within Trump's own circle. What makes South Park untouchable compared to other forms of satire? The answer lies in its delivery. Political speeches can be argued with. Op-eds can be ignored. Protest crowds can be dismissed, but ridicule sticks.
At the end.
Yeah, she's getting looser and looser, and then they kind of put her face back on.
Yeah.
When Noem was reduced to a melting wax statue with a gun, there was no dignified comeback. When her decades-old scandal was animated into a meme, there was no counter-argument. Satire strips away power because it doesn't debate, it laughs. And laughter makes authoritarians look small.
Kind of like, we're cool, we can handle it, and then at some point Trump is like, I will burn this building to the ground.
That's the one thing Trump and his allies can't fight. They can spin corruption charges into strength. They can rally supporters against media bias, but they can't fight a cartoon dog gag going viral on TikTok. You can't argue with a meme. You can't campaign against a punchline. Behind the scenes, corporate intrigue added another layer. Paramount recently merged with Skydance, a deal smoothed over with a $16 million FCC settlement many insiders whispered was appeasement for Trump's regulators. While other comedians faced budget cuts and restructuring, South Park walked away untouchable.
Breaking news, the new head of Paramount telling CNN he is standing by South Park after another utterly scathing episode.
Why? Because Paramount's new boss, David Ellison, isn't just a supporter. He's a fan. He openly admits he loves the chaos, and more importantly, he knows it sells. Every outrage, every Kristi Noem meltdown, every trending meme translates into subscribers and profits. South Park has become Paramount's crown jewel, the show that not only dominates culture, but also prints money out of controversy.
What kind of lawyers do they have? They got cool lawyers.
Well, if it's parody, right, you can do anything.
What really cements South Park's dominance in 2025 is its grip on Gen Z. This generation doesn't fear authority. They mock it. They meme it. They drag it across the internet until the mystique of power is stripped bare. Protests can be spun. Serious critiques can be brushed off. But a meme is eternal.
Wow, these like 30-minute dramedies that are winning in the comedy category, that's the methadone for the hard crack cocaine 90s style.
South Park understands this cultural shift better than anyone. They've transformed 4 foul-mouthed kids from Colorado into weapons of mass disruption. No guns, no rallies, just animation. And somehow that's more devastating than any political campaign ad or late-night monologue. So what does all of this mean? Kristi Noem thought she could dismiss South Park as lazy satire. But the reality is, she got caught in a cultural trap she couldn't escape. Her scandals became punchlines. Her outrage became free promotion. Her attempts to control the narrative only made her memes spread faster.
Vice President J.D. Vance took a slightly different approach. Instead of being the butt of the joke, sharing his South Park moment, saying, "I finally made it."
Meanwhile, J.D. Vance showed how embracing the chaos can flip humiliation into influence. Paramount turned controversy into profit. And Trey Parker and Matt Stone proved that, even in 2025, crude animation can still reshape political narratives in ways no serious journalist or commentator can.
Well, thank you, South Park, for bringing back comedy. Thank you, Donald Trump, for bringing back comedy.
At the end of the day, South Park didn't just mock Kristi Noem. They dismantled her. They turned her into a national punchline, dragged her scandals back into the spotlight, and made her outrage fuel their fire. By contrast, J.D. Vance walked away stronger, Trump's circle fractured, and Paramount cashed in. And here's the uncomfortable truth. South Park is winning. Not because they're fair, not because they're balanced, but because they've tapped into the one form of power that politicians can't control: ridicule. If you've made it this far, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more updates.